Hello, everyone. This is Renault, and this is actually a daily, my weekly blog that I was started last week. It's a couple of days late, but that's because this weekend has been a little bit of a chaos. So, as some of you who are new here, I started my weekly blog just to hold myself accountable for weight loss because I am an astounding 290 pounds when I first weighed myself, and that's just too much. But I am a telecommuter. I work from home, and when you work from home, you're not doing that daily grind of going back and forth, moving around an office area or whatever. Plus, you're tempted to snack all day, and so you lose track of things. So I was inspired to go back on my diet because I had guests over and they gave me a look. They didn't have to say anything; they just gave me a look. And I'm like, okay. Well, that and combined with my shirts have been getting a little bit tight, and it kind of happens very slowly. But then when you start noticing, it's like, okay, well, this is getting too much. So anyway, that's why I started my blog. So last week, actually more like a week and a half ago, I decided that I was going to do my blog, and so I weighed myself like on a Tuesday. And on that Tuesday, that's when I discovered I was 290 pounds. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, gotta start somewhere, right? And then on that Saturday, I weighed myself, and then I was 287 pounds. And so I had lost 30 pounds. And so I didn't really do much to lose that weight. I just ate some salads and like skipped maybe one meal instead of like two and a half. Like I don't eat 3 meals a day, but whatever. The point is, I didn't really put that much effort into my weight loss, and I had lost 3 pounds, and so I started. Then last week I started slacking off because I was overconfident. I was eating Snickers, ice cream bars, and I was just slacking off. Eating fast food when I shouldn't have. And so when I weighed myself this most recent Saturday on August 31st, I had gained 3 pounds. And that's really disappointing when technically you're dieting to lose weight and then you gain weight. But it's like, you know what? That's what this blog is for. Hold me accountable. So you guys can go ahead and make fun of me, make jokes about me, or whatever. I earned it. I deserve it. Because, when you're dieting to lose weight and you gain weight, that's no good. So anyway, I'm going to be back on the saddle. Ever since then, and being more vigorous and more dedicated to weight loss. But it's not just the God. Shut up, birds. Just a second. So anyway, got to put a little bit more effort into it, because I think that first week was a fluke. Anyway, but it's not just about the weight loss and dieting. It's also other stuff too. For example, I just kind of talk about how my week has been, what I've been doing for the week. And so this is week 2 of the semester. And so for week 2, I'm taking 12 credits this semester, so I'm technically going to work full time and going to school full time. So in my first class, we have a group project, and so on Saturday, it was my instructor. Or we have a group project, and in the group project, we just have to do one research paper. So it's technically less work, but then you have to coordinate with other people, so that kind of makes it a little bit more stressful. So anyway, as part of this group project, we had to do 3 citations from scholarly sources, whatever. And so the instructor recommended that we do them by Thursday. I had something else due on Thursday, so I turned my stuff in on Friday. And then by Saturday, when I initially tried to do this blog and there was some chaos, it just didn't upload. And so on Saturday, I submitted my stuff. No, sorry, I'm losing track of things. On Friday, I submitted my stuff. Saturday, I tried to. Noticed that nobody else had uploaded anything, which was really frustrating because the instructor recommended it by Thursday. And the reason why it was recommended is because we have to do commentary on the citations. Speak on the quality of them and talk about what they're about. and that sort of thing. So by Saturday, it hadn't been done by anyone except me, and that was really frustrating. Eventually, one person turned something in later on Saturday after I had checked, and then the other two people turned things in like Sunday afternoon. And the stuff was all due by Sunday by midnight Eastern time. So you can see how I was turning stuff in on Sunday afternoon. It's like, well, I'm not dedicating my life to refreshing our little group forum. I have other stuff to do on Sundays, especially when football season starts. So that was kind of frustrating. This team that I'm on it's like two people, myself and one other person who's putting in the effort, and then three people are slacking off, which is kind of frustrating because this is the first time I've had people slacking off in university group projects. Typically, when I do university group projects, people are on it. I've had this is the fifth one I've been on, and I've had four others, and everybody was putting in the work, everybody was putting in the effort. So this is really unusual. Anyway, with that being said, I did want to mention that, this is unusual, but you make do. Anyway, when it comes to the group project, well, what can I say? It's not really like how most group projects are at work, because at work there's a graphics person, there's a salesperson, there's a project manager. With the university group projects, nobody's a specialized task. Nobody has a specific thing they do. And there's no real way to hold people accountable, because all you can do is do a peer review. And with your peer review, what can you say? Oh, this person didn't do their job? Well, if somebody doesn't do their job, they're very likely going to be, from what I've encountered, because we've gotten scores back. The spiteful person is the person who didn't do anything, they're spiteful to the rest of the group regardless, whether you say anything to them or not. So what happens is, at best, if you try to hold them accountable and give them their lower group score, they'll just give you a lower group score too. So it's not really true accountability. It's still better than what happens in high school, where things can just fall apart and nothing happens. And then everybody gets a bad grade, or a worse grade, or pick up slack, and can't really do anything about it, because there's no feedback that you're able to give at all. Like, you can't even do the lower group scores. So, anyway, thank God that's over with. By the way, these group projects, they're not how things are like in the real workplace. In the real workplace, people have specific jobs they do. I wish the university would stop having them. But, be that as it may, you do what you gotta do. So then this other class I have is more business related. And it's a fully automated class. I love this class, because you do your work, and that's it. The grades are even submitted automatically, so you know what you're getting in the class right as soon as you submit it. And it's great for the instructor. It's great for the students. We do what we're supposed to. The instructor just gets paid to do things on autopilot. Whatever. I don't have a problem with it. It's actually my favorite class of the semester, because it's where I'm accountable. And then the third class that I have is a philosophy class. And the philosophy class is kind of interesting because it's very slow paced. I'm surprised at how slow paced it is. But there's also, one of the things I did this weekend was there's a group Wikipedia on it. And in the group Wikipedia, everybody contributes the best of their ability, their knowledge, what experience, however limited it may be or may not be, to the Wikipedia. And so at the end of the semester, there's nothing due until the end of the semester, but at the end of the semester, we get judged on what we contributed, the quality of what we contributed, but it's still like a group effort. So the instructor keeps track of like the edits or whatever. And so that's kind of fun because, you're sharing your knowledge. And you can see what the group as a whole can contribute. And so the last thing was my fourth class. It's a sales-related class, and the sales-related class is like several small projects, and you got to be careful when you've got a class like this, because you can't really do it at the last minute, because it's several small projects, And so it's not the kind of stuff you can do just in one night or one evening at the last minute. And that's what's so tricky about the class. And so that's the thing that, again, I'm responsible for just my actions, and so that's a good thing. Now, when it comes to the... so that's actually it. I didn't really have much to say about schoolwork or whatever, but there is my customer of the week and then other shenanigans I wanted to mention too. So the customer of the week is where I talk about, a particular customer or a client that we've had. And so this time I'm going to talk about this one client. And here's the situation. The client called in, and they informed us that they went to the gym, and the gym had told them that they get access to a free gym membership as part of our financial package. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll be more than happy to look into that. I looked into their account and their records, and it turns out the free gym membership is just not available in that particular state. And so I let her know, we don't have the free gym membership available for you. I apologize, but it's just not available. And she insisted that we do have it because the gym membership had told her that we have it. But no, we don't have it in your state. Maybe a different financial services have it. Maybe a different division of our group has it. But we don't have it. And I apologize for that inconvenience. It's just not available. She immediately asked me to a supervisor because of course she did. I told her that we don't have a supervisor available, and so I did offer a call back, and of course she denied it. She declined it, because of course she did. So at that point, she insisted that I was not making a truthful statement, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So again, I didn't say that obviously, but that's what I was thinking, but I did tell her, I apologize that you may have been misinformed, ma'am, etc., etc. And so, eventually she said, well, I'm going to call back tomorrow, and then I'm going to speak to someone. I'm like, well, ma'am, I'm sorry that offering the financial... I did tell her that we have an alternative. And the alternative isn't a free gym membership, but it is a health and wellness program. It doesn't have the free gym membership, but it has some other stuff. And it's not nearly as good as a free gym. I didn't tell her that it's not nearly as good as a gym membership, and that's why it's even offered. But, it's better than nothing. Because, you do want to make sure you offer something. But, of course, she's like, well, it's not a free gym membership, is it? And I'm like, no, it's not a free gym membership, but it does have some health and wellness activities that obviously are important to you. So you're like, no, it's not. And so she told me, no, it's not a free gym membership. It's not what I wanted. I'm like, okay, ma'am, well, I'm sorry that offering this alternative was offensive to you. And then she hung up immediately, which is kind of what I was hoping for. Now, the reason why I said it is because sometimes when the customer... since I do a lot of phone work, the calls get randomly listened to and there's random surveys. And sometimes during the call, before they come speak with us, the customers and clients are notified that, this call is going to be monitored and recorded, but also you're going to get a survey on this call. And so by telling the customer ahead of time, I noticed a remarkable trend where the customers ahead of time, when they're told ahead of time, are exceptionally snotty with attitude. And so they think that they're just going to walk all over us and say whatever and do whatever they want. And I'm not having it. But she can't really complain. And so when a call gets listened to, I never got any mark-offs. Because, we get the survey scores afterwards. And the review team looked it over and said, nope, he didn't do anything wrong. And because I offered her an alternative, I factually stated something correct, I apologized for the inconvenience, and I apologized for offending her. Now, I did say it with an attitude, because of course I did. I tried to straddle the line for the sake of being snotty myself, but the review team, they give us the benefit of the doubt because, you know, you can't 100% confirm tone. Besides, I did offer her an alternative. So, yeah, the surveys are pretty awful because the customers tend to be real. You can you can spot the customers who have the surveys. If they're nice, you can't really tell, but you can tell if they're being nasty because they're being especially nasty and petty for no reason. So yeah, I could see right through her shtick. I knew that call was going to get surveyed and reviewed, and I just told her, I'm sorry that offering this alternative was offensive to you, and it felt good to say it. And I didn't get any mark offs. Our team leaders reviewed it, and I didn't get any mark offs because she was being a little. See you next Tuesday. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to talk about almost was just a little quick Spelunky update. I did make it to the City of Gold, finally, so that made me very happy. Sadly, I didn't catch it on stream, and so I don't really have a way to show you the run, but it was great getting to the City of Gold. I died in a really silly way. I was kind of fascinated by the gold, and so I placed some bombs where I shouldn't have. I wasn't paying attention because I was mesmerized by the gold, and then I got myself exploded. But that's okay. When you get to the City of Gold and certain other locations, you unlock new additional characters. So when you get to the City of Gold, like almost right away, there's a little casket, and if you open it up, then you unlock the golden guy, and he sparkles. And I'm like, wait a minute, that guy is sparkling. That's awesome. So I was kind of mesmerized at that. He got hit by some spikes. Then I blew myself up because I was kind of like, wow, that guy's sparkling. And sorry about the reason why I chose the image that you're looking at here, the impossible shape, is because there was just complete chaos. There was my initial a blog of the week. I was just walking around in it in like a abandoned field, as part of my exercise. And I was walking around for about 30 minutes. But, when I tried to record it, it was like needed to be turned 90 degrees. And so I'm like, oh, well, I just need to get some software to turn this video 90 degrees. And none of the software that I had access to would just do something simple like turn a video 90 degrees. I was surprised. And so I was like, whatever. Then the ones that I were able to find, they said my video was too large because, it's a 30-minute video I captured on my smartphone. And so it needed to be compressed. And so I compressed the original video. But then after I compressed it, I didn't realize that it also shortened my video to 5 minutes. Now, when your video is shortened by 25 minutes, and it still didn't invert it 90 degrees, then I was kind of pissed at that point. I just scrapped the video at that point. But I still wanted to make sure I did my blog update. The other thing I wanted to mention was that I had another video that I uploaded, before I went back on the saddle. It was kind of mocking the whole chicken sandwich with Popeyes and how they're all out. But it's kind of like, it doesn't feel natural anymore. I even had pictures, I had a story I was going to leave, but with again, that's another thing where I couldn't get the video formats to work right. And so, I think I might have boomered. I am too young to be a boomer, I like to think, but, the results are the results. I couldn't get the technology to work. So I just scrapped that video. And then I had one of my Spelunky updates just vanish into thin air. I don't know what happened to the video. I don't know what happened to the daily challenge. But it just didn't upload. And I must have forgotten to upload it or whatever. But anyway, that's my blog of the week. So as a quick recap, I gained 3 pounds because I was a slacker. You can make fun of me for it. I went over my customer of the week, who was part of a survey, and she was being a snotty little see you next Tuesday. And so I was being a snarky little jerk right back to her. And I didn't get marked off for it because she deserved it. my going to school full time. One of my classes is a time sync because I have to coordinate with other groups who turn in all their work on Sunday afternoon when everything is due by Sunday at midnight. And my technology issues caused me to lose a 30-minute video where I was walking around and talking about, you know, my week. So again, it was 30 minutes. This one's going to be only about 20, so it's a little bit shorter. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and hit that like button, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.